With AI, anyone can build a great online business very quickly, right? No, it's not right. It's a scam. Well, not a scam, but it's a grift driven by these folks who most likely sell online courses. It got me thinking, because me being me, I couldn't let the thought go. There's a certain type of AI influencer that I run into every now and then. And their tagline is this: oh, what's your excuse for not building a profitable business with AI in just 24 hours? Like, really? I find it equally funny that eventually there is going to be a person in their comments asking them, so what did you specifically build with this thing that you're clearly selling that makes you 10K a month? And it's crickets. You don't get an answer to that ever, because they don't have that. These people's product is the attention. They are building an audience that they can monetize in different ways. Sometimes platform monetizations on like X and LinkedIn and YouTube, or selling literally courses labeled how to make 10K a month on the internet, where I'd wager that most of the times if you buy the course, and if they were honest, they would say, thank you for buying my course. The best way to make this money is to sell courses to people who want to get rich quick. Is there truth to the idea that with the advancements of AI and all of these toolings, you theoretically could build the machinery that builds businesses for you? I want to see if that is possible. My goal here is not to figure out if you can build a successful business with AI, because I already have a job in a company. I don't want another business, but I'm curious on the process. A lot of people beforehand thought that you can't build online businesses because writing the code for a web app is the hard part. Turns out that when people got access to Claude Code and other development tools like Cursor, that was not the hard part. Eventually, with some trial and error, churn out a beautiful web app, they'd go online, and then they're like, oh damn, this wasn't the hard part. Like, I have to get customers, I have to do marketing, like, damn it. I've been building products online for, closer to 30 years. I'm old. I got started when the internet was a new thing, and I was hooked, and I've been through ups and downs, and a lot of my ideas were terrible. In that, I know something about what it takes to build a business, especially from the failures, because that's where you learn. So I know you can't shortcut those things, but let's see how far we can get by trying to automate this business factory with AI. To be clear, I haven't built anything yet. This is just an idea in my head. I've kind of written some notes down on paper, yes, actual paper, about how I want to go about it. And I'm literally recording this segment before I open up anything where I would start building this out. So this could go wrong, but if you're seeing this video, there was probably something that went right, because otherwise I would have deleted it and never uploaded this. Before we dive into this actual building stuff, I want to talk a little bit about this problem breakdown that I have in my head that I'm going to then use when I'm going through this. And I've broken this down to 3 different parts that I'll be approaching. First is, what do you even do? What is the idea? And where do we find information that would support that this is actually a valid business idea, and come up with that business thesis? And again, we want to automate that. Second is building some sort of fake product, whether it be just a landing page or some demo stuff, things like that, with a waste list, something people can visit, touch, look at, and have a reaction towards. Third, think about how the last piece of this machinery would work. How would people get there? Because without people visiting your product site, giving you feedback, thoughts, your email, you can't validate if there's a real business, because the real validation happens when somebody says, I want to pay money for it. The idea here being is that the process through 1, 2, 3 is as automated as possible, so we can churn out these ideas while I'm sleeping. So this is what I'm going to aim for, and let's see how it pans out. All right. Let's build. So here I have my empty AI business builder workspace, and the first thing I want to do here is set it up so that I have a place to keep all of my ideas. And the idea behind this is that we want to really keep track of them in a system, so then we can have an AI agent essentially operate on this. So this isn't yet any of these 3 phases, it's rather the foundation of it. So we want to track the name for the business idea, essentially what the stage of this idea so far is. Is it idea? Are we validating, building it, or might we already be running it? And you know what? Actually, let's add everything else afterwards once we need something. But I just want to get this foundation built so we can get up and running on building stuff on top of it. All right. our feature set is ready, so let's go and see what we got. We now got our business ideas list. We could filter on things, but hey, we got nothing there. We can add an idea. You know, it might make sense to have a better view of this. I like Kanban boards, being a software engineer by background, so let me quickly add that functionality into that so we can look at them on a nice board view with different stages. And we're gonna wait a second for this to finish up building, so then we can get going on building stuff. Again, like, this isn't a necessary step, I just like to do it this way. Alright, we got our Kanban board set up, but again, we got nothing there. It's still an empty thing. So now I'm gonna really quickly add a test idea just to see that everything works. Yay, it does. But now the main thing is that I think we need a little bit more information that we want to add to these things. So I'm going to add a couple more fields to my idea entity. Generally, we want to like a description, a little bit more of what this is, what is... You know, actually, we're going to ask AI what we should be adding to these things so we don't have to think. I mean, isn't this what AI is for? So let's see what it tells us that we should be adding to it. Description, target market, competition. Yes, actually, a lot of these make sense. Competition, not really care about it. Priority, yes. You know what? That makes sense. All right, so then we're gonna again wait for that to finish. All right, now I got a little bit more detail. Feels more fully fledged and ready for us to build. So let's get to building the automation. Let me start a new chat here to save context. But like, key thing here is now we want to get to the fun part. So generally how I like to work is I want to define the process first on what I want to happen before I actually set that up as an agentic thing. So really, I want to describe the process that I'm going to go through just to make sure that it does the things that I want. So the key here is I want to tell the system that, yes, this is something that I want to do as a scheduled thing, but let's do it manually for now. Work with me here type of thing, and then describe what we want. So essentially what we want to do is we want to come up with ideas, and we should use AI for it because that's the point. Like, that was the whole point of the AI factory. Now, we do want to give it some constraints. Otherwise, it's not necessarily going to give us something that would be feasible. So to be true to this idea, let's focus on something that are business ideas around products that will be self-contained, kind of niche products, autonomous, service-oriented things that could be done by AI, but don't require people. So we want to tell the AI these constraints, and we want to tell it also that it should be a niche market, so we don't come up with ideas of like, oh, let's disrupt Salesforce with a AI-generated code base. Something small where the value is clearly defined. And then the question is, so what is it going to come up with? All right, so it is coming up with some ideas. Actually, no, it's asking me questions first. What kind of ideas, what we're doing, how many ideas per turn. Okay, that's fair. I don't think we need that many. Yeah, and honestly, we should avoid anything like very compliance heavy. Again, I'm not planning to build these things, but I don't want to cheat too much. So let's see what it gives us. I hope the editor cuts that out.
No, I don't think I will.
There we go. Ghost Web, Template Vault, Churn Signals, Content Drift API feed, and oh, my template migrate idea. All right, let's see what we got. Ghost Web. Oh, and we hit a bug. All right, so my test idea is still there. Let's get rid of that first. But let's see what else we got. We have Ghost Web, which is host static HTML website on a simpler platform with automatic Cloudflare integration. Yes. I feel this probably exists, but hey, whatever. It's not bad. Honestly, for a certain segment, just everything working is a great thing. But I wonder what else there is. Template Vault. Searchable marketplace for Notion, Airtable, and spreadsheet templates. Creators publish templates. Users find exactly what they need. This is semi-interesting, yeah. All right. So let's add this as a scheduled task, essentially that it would run on a periodic basis, creating us more and more ideas all the time. You know what, let's run it every single day. We're gonna have a plethora of ideas and let's run it now just to see how it works. I have a tendency to just run it once just to make sure that I configured it properly. It always pretty much works, but I'd rather find out now than tomorrow morning when it didn't run, that I misconfigured something. So it takes a little bit of time to run, not terribly long, but it does some web searching and idea building and stuff like that. So once it's completed, we should have a couple of more ideas added to our board of amazing ideas. There we go, done. And let's refresh the page and see what we got. We now have, template forge, drag and drop email template builder with pre-made templates optimized. Local leads, customer inquiry and scheduling system for local service businesses. Isn't this what everybody always said you should vibe code and build a business on? I guess so. All right, so we now got our idea stuff in place and more are added every day. So now we have to think about validation. So let's do that in a new chat. So validation with the idea is that we don't just generate the ideas, rather we figure out so we know it's a real thing and people might be asking for it. Because the first step is indeed just AI generating these ideas out of, well, thin air with no validation. One of the best things that people throw out as validation is Reddit. The most commonly thrown around thing I saw, like, oh, look at subreddits, figure out things that people ask for, build up for a pain point. That's fair. I mean, there's a lot of chatter there. Don't know if that's actually valuable. I've done some searching on Reddit, but it's hard to see through the noise. But you know what? Again, we're trying to play this game here of trying to figure out if this could be something that could work. So let's try it out for one of these products and see what happens. So what do we get? Now AI is trying to figure out, there's 10 ideas, it grabs one, it is clearly going for local leads, it did a bunch of web searching, and it's doing a validation analysis for local leads business idea. All right, local leads has strong validation signals. Oh yay for AI. So it likes it, at least AI likes it. But again, the point isn't to figure out really what the right idea is. Rather, we wanna, again, build the automation machinery around these things. So I'm gonna ask AI to move local leads to validation step, because then the next thing is I wanna create a scheduled agent out of it. And it works best when it can analyze the conversation and create an agent based on that. So let me do that next again. Click, create scheduled agent. It analyzes the conversation for me to figure out what do I actually want to schedule, and there we go. Looks fine, and it runs again just to see if it's gonna work, same as before. Oh, and it looks like I have to go back and correct that. It accidentally now runs twice. I meant to run it at 10 a.m. so it would run after the idea generation, but you know what, we can fix that later. Let's just see and what this does as it finishes its run, and it's taking forever. Ain't nobody got time for that.